What's going on, guys? Welcome to Rants Red Talk, where we discussed all the topics you sent through to me on Twitter. And first of all, Big Dave signed a contract. I think we're all glad that he's done that. I said before that in the group chat, like a screenshot got leaked in it. So I saw that the deal had been agreed already. So yeah, like I wasn't really surprised by it. Also, the amount of money it would have cost us to replace him, you have to say that that's bloody good business by the board. They took their time. I also genuinely believe that he probably did want to leave, and there wasn't many people that were going to match not only the wages, but not many people were going to pay what it would have cost for us to sell him. So I think for all parties, it's a good time, innit? Hopefully now his contract's sorted, he can get his head down, get his form back, because we've seen previously that when contracts need to be sorted, the Hayes form is all over the gaff. You know what I mean? As I've stated many times, LVG dropped him last time because he was having a stinker. So hopefully that's behind him, and we can build up a nice run of form now, and hopefully a run of clean sheets. But yeah, let's get to your questions. At Bake Pearson, J Pearson, of all players that have left, do you think we genuinely miss Ander Herrera in the midfield? Pogba always seemed to perform better when Ander played. I wouldn't say that Pogba played better when Ander played, but I think that with losing Ander Herrera, not replacing him, obviously we've lost some quality in there. There's no two ways about it. I was the first to say, and I will still stand by the fact, and Ander Herrera is not that great a footballer, but compared to what we have now, he's better, innit? And that's what it is. He's better than McTominay. He's better than Matic. He is. So I wasn't sad to see the back of Ander Herrera with the understanding that we are going to be replacing him. The fact that we haven't replaced him, you have to think we're definitely worse off in the midfield department. We're definitely weaker. Getting rid of Fellaini and Ander Herrera and not bringing in a midfielder, for me, like that's not good business, isn't it? Like no one can tell me otherwise. So in that aspect, of course, we miss him in the aspect that we haven't replaced him. Yeah, that's it. But I don't think we miss him, if you know what I mean. Like if we had Ander Herrera now, instead of not having Ander Herrera, I don't think it will be the difference between us having an 100% record and us not. I reckon the game we lost, we still would have probably lost, bro. Like with or without Herrera. So of course we miss him because we're depleted, but like boy, man could say that we miss Fellaini, bro. Like with that same logic. So I'd have to say common sense would say yes, we miss him in terms of the depth that he provides and like a different dynamic in the midfield. But then, but we don't miss him in it. So we do, but we don't in it. But I ain't heard much about Herrera anyway. I don't know if he's playing in that Uber Eats League blood or if he's injured or whatever. But man, ain't heard nothing about him. So I know he's not tearing up trees there. Next one, Kingdom of Anamaria says, I can't see your app. Do you think we can beat Arsenal in 2 weeks and finish above them? When we get our best players back, as they are getting their players back as well. Bruv, of course we can beat Arsenal. Like, can and will are two different things, isn't it? We definitely have the potential to beat them. We have the ability to beat them. Their form's not looking too great at the moment either. So when we play, it's going to be two teams that aren't particularly playing well, playing against each other. So it's a lottery. Anyone can win that game, man. But as you said, they're getting players back as well as we're getting players back. But I think that we might be getting ours back slightly sooner. So I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure. The most honest thing I could say is, yes, we can beat them. But it wouldn't be dislike Manchester United to go and just play shit, fam. Like, it wouldn't be, it wouldn't be unlike them. So for me, I have to judge it one game at a time, innit? I have to judge it one game at a time because United haven't shown me anything consistently in terms of style of play, in terms of level of performance or anything for me to think that I know what I'm going to get with this Manchester United side. I don't even know. I don't even know like, who's going to play where, bro. Like, is Pereira going to play down the middle? Is he going to play on the right? Is he going to start Mata? Is he not? Like, there's so many different things that I can't legislate for. But I would say that this team are good enough to beat Arsenal. But Whether we will or we won't, like that's gonna come down to the day, guys. We're just flicking coins. Let me know what you think about the Arsenal game. Are you confident? Next one. It just says forward with a Nigerian flag. You said it would take a full capitulation for you to be Ollie out, but what would you need to see practically, tactically in the team before your faith in him can return to just before he was made permanent manager? Keep up the good work. I don't think nothing can happen. You know what I mean? Because, yeah, like, nothing can happen. I've seen enough. The thing is, now I've seen it, I can't unsee it, if that makes sense. Like, it's just one of them ones where, like, I've seen the frailties, the lack of creativity, and all of those things. Like, that's not going to go away now. So I can't say, yeah, well, if we go on 10 straight runs, I'll forget it. I won't forget it, because as soon as we drop a point we shouldn't have dropped, or we lose a game that we shouldn't have lost down to like poor decisions or stuff like that, the reminder will be there. The seed has already been planted. So obviously when we were all gassed at the Ollies at the wheel, that was all of the unknown, innit? This was all just seeing things and thinking, yo, maybe this is going to be our everyday. But how many times have you seen it when interim managers come in and there's a response? And it's easy to get swept away thinking, yo, this is going to last forever. But when the going gets tough, this is where man have to earn their corn, innit? And yeah, like I just don't really see it happening at the moment. So as I said, like I'm not Ollie out. I think that he needs to spend some money. I don't think he's good enough to coach his way out of trouble, but he might be able to buy his way out of trouble, because Maureen could have bought his way out of trouble if he bought well, because he spent a lot of money. So if Ollie decides to spend good money instead of just spending for spending's sake, then we could be going somewhere, because we're getting linked with Maddison and Sancho next summer. And if our transfer window next summer was Maddison, Sancho, plus maybe another midfielder or something like that, I'd be like, yo, that's a decent window. All of a sudden, Ollie might have a chance at this top 40. But it very much relies on recruitment. Like, he's never going to be able to coach his way out of trouble. He simply doesn't have it in his locker. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Is everyone still firmly behind Ollie? The Don snaps, can Gary Neville and then man stop this patience talk? To me, that's just an excuse for the board. They can fix this team in one window if they wanted to. I wouldn't go as far as saying one window. They probably could in terms of spending money, because we have the money to spend. But what I would say is 2 windows would have been able to fix this team to challenge. Like, if we had a good summer this summer, after next summer, I would have been looking at the team like, yo, we're ready to attack now. Because actually, if we got in the 4 players that we needed, in the positions that we needed, maybe 5 players, we would have been cool, innit? We needed another midfielder in there. And Daniel James wasn't meant to be your starting right mid, but actually it's worked out okay for now. So I'll just say, if we got Bruno Fernandes, yeah, on top of the man that we got, then another window where we're buying 3 or 4 man, we would have been done. But obviously, we have the finances, but we don't have the structure to do those deals. So because of that, it's all dead. But you're right, it does seem like Gary Neville and them man are making excuses for the board, but maybe they're just making excuses for the manager. Who knows? Either way, like, if you know, innit? Manchester United could do a lot better in a lot less time if they had a better structure. Let me know what you think in the comment section. How long do you think it would take for us to start challenging again? Samuel _ Idele, does it annoy you to look at Chelsea going to Wolves, slapping them 5-2 with youth, Abraham, Tomori, Mount, and Gomez and Greenwood couldn't even get on the pitch against Leicester? Chelsea don't play the youth, but right now are showing the benefits of it. It's funny because Chelsea have had their hands tied, but also Chelsea have had FA Youth Cup winning teams. So when you think that Hudson-Odoi and Loftus-Cheek are also in that list of players that have come through the system. So as much as United get lauded for this youth thing, Chelsea have brought through more men in the last 5 years probably. Like, you might even say 10 years. Because what? Jesse Lingard and Paul Pogba are the only people Jesse Lingard and Paul Pogba are the only people from that class that are still at Manchester United. Rashford's the only person from his class, really, that's still, yeah, that's playing. Like Rashford's the same age as like Angel and that, or around that age, but Rashford's the only one that's starting. When you look at it, them man haven't really, United haven't produced a crop of players since 1992, blood, and we're still living off this gas, the class of 92 gas. But actually, United ain't really brought through no one that's playing in the first team and stayed, bruv. Danny Welbeck left. And then all the likes of the Simpsons, the Shawcrosses, all these man, they all left, innit? So actually, they over romanticize how many men actually break into the first team and stay, because it's not that many. So Chelsea are definitely ahead of the game for us. It is frustrating that the likes of Tomori and Mount was playing in the Championship last year. Now he's starting for Chelsea in the Prem. So I don't know. The fact that Gomez and Greenwood can't get a game, I think tomorrow night, the Europa League game will say it all, yeah? If Gomez, Chong and Greenwood don't all start, I think a lot of men are going to be looking at Oli thinking, you know what, bruv, you sold us one hell of a dream. Let me know what you think about that situation. Do you think that these youngers are going to get some game time soon? Carl Ferguson, can we still finish 6th and still see signs of improvement with this team? Or he has at his disposal, what can we expect for the rest of the season? Bruv, like, we can still finish 6th. And I still think we should finish in the top 6 given the squad that we have. And my expectations won't rise above that, and they shouldn't go below that. I think 5th or 6th should be naturally where we should be finishing, given the fact that Chelsea had a transfer ban. We should finish above them. I'm not saying we will, because we might not. Tammy Abraham's found some form, and he's a goal scorer at the end of the day. Plus, they do have a very solid midfield. So I think it's between us and Chelsea for 5th or 6th. I think if any of us fall out of the top 6, their managers need to be looked at, because our squads are considerably deeper and better than the teams around us. Let me know what you think. Have you adjusted your expectations? Do you think that we can break into the top 4? Or do you think we're going to miss out? Angel Gomez, FC, bruv. That always kills me. Would you prioritize finishing 4th or winning the Champions or the Europa League, as it means to gain Champions League status? Or are you happy with playing Europa next season? We're Manchester United. I'm definitely not happy with playing Europa next season. Also, we need to be thinking about winning trophies. Like, it's not a bad habit to have, being in one of our worst periods in recent history and still picking up silverware every now and then. So for me, we have to prioritize picking up silverware. If we can finish 6th and win the Europa League, that's a much better season than finishing 4th. You finish 4th, you get Champions League football, but you don't get a trophy. If I get the opportunity for our youngsters to lift the trophy, see what it feels like to play in a European final, win it, and still get Champions League football, that has to be ahead of simply just picking up Champions League football over 4 months. Over finishing 4th. Obviously, it's nice because it means consistently you did enough to get up to a certain level, but like, we don't care about that, man. Like, we just care about the end result, which is Champions League football. And if you can get there winning a trophy, that simply has to surpass finishing 4th. You don't get a trophy for finishing 4th. Let me know what your opinion is on that. Would you rather finish 4th because it means we're the 4th best team in the country? Or would you be happy with finishing as the 6th best team in the country and winning the European Cup? Christian J, actor. If you could bring one player from any team, any United team between 2000 and 2010, put in this current one, who would it be and why? Michael Carrick. It would be Michael Carrick because, another police siren. It would be Michael Carrick because we're missing that deep lying creative playmaker from the midfield that can actually start our attacks and allow Pogba further forward, bruv. Like, Carrick, Fred and Pogba midfield would be fucking dynamite, bruv. I can't even lie. It would be, man. Like, Fred box to box, Carrick like just ticking over, and then Pogba just being that link between midfield and attack. It would have to be Michael Carrick. This is simply based on what the team needs right now, like what it needs. So yeah, definitely Carrick. I think that would bring the level of the team up massively, just having that kind of player, because that's what we're urgently in need of. Let me know. That's a good question. Let me know if you guys could bring back one player from United between year 2000 and 2010. Who would you bring? Do you think the clear out of Deadwood means we'll sign a player in January, or is it clear, or is the clear out being done in preparation for a different manager next season? I doubt Ollie's getting sacked, bro. Unless United capitulate, I don't see Ollie going nowhere. So I have to believe that the clear out is to get the wage bill down so we can bring in more men. I think I just have to say it must be a restructure. It must be a rebuild. It can't be anything else. I wouldn't think that them man are trying to get rid of Ollie, or they brought Ollie in just to clear out the dead wood for the next manager. As much as there's a lot of conspiracies about that, like, I simply don't see it, innit? I don't see it. So I'm just going to go with we could be signing some players in the near future. Maybe not January. As I said before, unless Christian Eriksen becomes available, I don't see who we move for in January, because everyone's going to be cup tied. Like, why the fuck would they want to move? Do you know what I mean? Eriksen being in the last 6 months of his contract would make sense. Everyone else, like, they'll be more expensive in January than they are in the summer, because their team will have less time to replace them. So for me, nothing changes. Nice and quiet in January, unless Eriksen's available. The Green Devil, Rashford was worryingly bad on Saturday despite a well-taken penalty. Is it time to bench him? I think so. I would bench him against Astana, because maybe he just needs a rest. Like, some people can play their way into form, but Rashford's very frustrating. Like, I don't want to see him play his way into form. I'd rather see him come off the bench, make an impact when people are tired. Because I think he's more dangerous that way, and he's more likely to have impact. So, for me, I would bench him against Astana. And obviously, like, in the Prem, you'd think he'd be back. You know what I mean? United number 10, highly favoured at the club. I can't see Rashford getting dropped by Ollie. Ollie loves him, innit? So I can't see him getting dropped. But I can see him being rested from the starting lineup tomorrow, which would be a decent idea. Because I think that as a player, when you're not playing well, like, sometimes you do need to kind of have a sit down on the bench and just take some time off, because I feel like it's at the point where he's trying too hard now, and it's just looking terrible. Let me know what you think. Would you bench Rashi? Last but not least, man like Ryan F. Pierce, it says, hold on a minute, where have you gone? It says, can we just admit we played well against Southampton and Wolves, didn't get the result, but we played Leicester and scraped the result, and United fans should not be thinking too deep that we are in the top 4 at the moment, and there will be more ups and downs. I can't admit that, because I went to both of the games that you spoke about and we didn't. We played well against Wolves in the first half. Like, we should have been 3-0 up. And then we came out in the second half, started slowly, got punished. And Traore was running Luke Shaw ragged, and we could have ended up losing the game. Southampton was the same. It was shit, bruv. It was stalemate. We started the game slowly, scored against the run of play against Southampton, then ran out of fucking ideas. Let's not pretend that everything's rosy. As I said before, a lot of men are going to say, oh yeah, but we missed 2 penalties and we did all these things. Good teams don't need to rely on one moment in a game, yeah, to be complaining about, oh, this is where it all changed. Like, if you're having 7, 8, 9, 10 shots on target in 90 minutes, you're probably not going to lose these games. The problem is, yeah, when the first 45 minutes in games, like even the last match, first 45 minutes, we didn't have a shot on target from open play. Just the penalty that put us 1-0 up. These things are the most worrying things. So yeah, we can sweep it under the carpet and say, oh yeah, but we could have done this. We nearly did this. And we've done this. But the bottom line is, the reality is, we ain't been that good. Like, I can't tell you the last time I've seen Manchester United start well and play from the first minute to the 90th minute with intent, with intensity, with quality. I ain't seen it for a very long time, bro. Like, I ain't seen it for a very long time. So I'm not going to be one of them guys that are just going to kind of take sprinkles of every game and say, yo, we should have won because we created that chance or we created that chance. Like, we didn't dominate those games fully from start to finish, and we paid the price. Like, it's that simple. I really don't know what to say other than that. Like, I just think, guys, stop trying to sweep under the carpet the poor performances. Like, stop trying to do it. Like, it's not doing us any favours. It won't be doing the players any favours or whatever. Like, the bottom line is it hasn't been good enough and it needs to improve. It's that simple, guys. Like, there's teams out there, as I said, fucking look what Tottenham done to Crystal Palace. Man could turn around and say, oh yeah, but if we scored the penalty, Tottenham whapped Crystal Palace. We should have whapped Crystal Palace as well. So even if we did miss a penalty, it wouldn't have mattered. The way Chelsea whapped Watford, we should have whapped Watford. Been 3-0 up at half time, and then that wonder goal, even if it's scored, it doesn't matter. Those are the fine margins. Big clubs can't be talking about, oh, we missed that chance, we missed this chance, so that's the reason why we didn't. No, the reason why is because we're not creating enough, we're not ruthless enough, we're not clinical enough, and generally we're just not good enough. That is the realness. Let me know how you feel about that last statement, guys. Smash the like button, obviously. That was your Rants Red Talk. It's at Rants and Bants on Twitter and Instagram. And yeah, keep an eye on my Insta story today. I'm on the way down to do some stuff with, should I tell you? No, I won't tell you. Watch it, innit? Watch the Instagram story. All I'm saying is I'm heading down to a boxing club now. And I'm going to be chilling with some pro fighters / Olympians, man. So it's exciting times. You know, man stays busy. And then we're up in Manchester tomorrow. So big up for your questions. Make sure you leave your comments. Also, spin back and check out Total Football that I released yesterday if you haven't seen it already. But yeah, man's going to make a move. And as usual, it's been emotional.